It's going down. I'm yelling timber. How's it going, America? Figured I'd jump on here. I really got to go to the bathroom, so I got to make this one quick. Um, so we had the inauguration. Luckily, nothing happened. They did it inside because it was really cold out. I'm not buying that shit for a second. I think that there was probably some threats, um, maybe some sort of inside information that made them decide that it was probably best to do it in the rotunda instead of doing it outside. Or I will even concede this could have been Donald Trump's ego because he knew that it was cold, or maybe just didn't want to see what the turnout would be. Either way, none of that is actually important. I'm one of those people that all the pomp and pageantry and the popularity contest doesn't mean shit to me. I actually don't care at all. All I do care about is that these people are our elected officials. They are there to represent us. I want them to do their fucking jobs, and they haven't been doing that for a really long time. So, January 20th is passed, and now it's time to get to work. I guess we're going to see what happens. I gotta say, some of the stuff that he signed right off the bat, I am in complete agreement with. I am a little bit hesitant to see what happens as far as some of the immigration stuff goes. You know, there's a nice way of doing things, and then there's a shithole way of things. Not shithole, shitbag way of doing things. I think we need to be very careful about how we go about that. That being said, it's important to remember that we only came to this place because of years and years and years of failed policy and people just ignoring what was going on. If it wasn't so fucked up, we wouldn't have to do what they might be doing. Now, I did see, I forgot what his fucking name is. The guy looks like a bulldog, but he's in charge of immigration. And, he seems like he's not fucking around, okay? And I like that to a certain extent. However, I do think deporting people who are hard workers, who are not criminals, who want to be here is a bad idea. So we need to come up with some way of separating the wheat from the chaff, as you will. Like, if they shouldn't be here, then they need to go. But if they should be here, there needs to be a path to let them be able to stay. Some of the stuff with the birthright citizen stuff, I think that might be just something that is being played to call attention to something that is a problem. People are not stupid. They know that if they come here and have a kid, then they can stay. If you think that they're not keeping that in mind when they've got their plan, because I believe it or not, I would say everyone who tries to come to this country's got a little bit of a plan. And if you don't, that's a little bit scary in itself because, Jesus, how are you picking up and moving to a whole new country and you don't have a plan? But if you're using that to game the system, then it is a problem. If it's somebody who came here and just through natural courses of events, you had a kid, I have absolutely no problem with you staying here and you becoming an American citizen. Becoming an American citizen is not easy, though. I've told many of my friends, I've had family members who became American citizens, and it was a fucking process. We're talking, I think in one case, it took almost 25 years for somebody who was born in another country, who was forced to come here during World War II to become an American citizen. And we're talking, she came when she was a baby, or maybe not a baby, but a child. And she had no family and was told she had to come to America. And it still took 25 years to become an American citizen. So I understand the frustration on the part of people trying to come into the country, but it's not so simple as just becoming a citizen. Over the years, I've had some really crazy ideas on how you could become a citizen quicker and stuff. Some of them I still say might make some sense. we're a capitalist country. I think you should be able to buy your citizenship. If you come into this country, you sign the paperwork, you go get a work visa, you go get a job, and you are willing to pay into a system to become a citizen quicker. I mean, everything we do nowadays has where you can expedite shipping, expedite this, expedite that. Fuck it. Expedite fucking citizenship. Make them pay for it. What's the problem? It's a win-win. They become a citizen. We get extra tax dollars. I don't see a problem with that. Plus, give them the opportunity to work. What is it like where everybody wants on-the-job training? Well, you let somebody come into the country, you let them work, you let them pay into the system, and then before you know it, by the time they are citizens, boom, they are full-blown members of American society. I don't know. Don't want to get too deep into it, but that is one of the things that I'm a little bit wary about. Other things, like cutting off all foreign aid under pending review, 1,000% okay with that. 1,000% okay with that. That doesn't mean, it doesn't include humanitarian aid. If it's a disaster or people are dying, things like that, they did not cut that off. But when was the last time any of this was fucking reviewed? I mean, you're going to just hand out cash left and right when we are running deficits that are absolutely insane, and you're not even going to look at what some of it is. I promise you, some of the foreign aid we give is to stuff that makes absolutely no sense, or even situations that aren't even happening anymore. So 100% behind that. Trump also is telling the CIA to declassify all documents related to the JFK, the Robert Kennedy, and the Martin Luther King assassinations. This is way overdue. I don't think that anyone's going to be surprised at what we hear. I think that the only reason that you would keep everything still under wraps is because in some small part, our government, don't know who, don't know what agency, don't know why, had something to do with it. But I don't think that anyone is going to be fucking surprised if they release that stuff. And it does say that LBJ, the CIA, the FBI, somebody was involved. I've said for a long time that I don't think it was any one group. I think it was a bunch of groups kind of working together. It's no small secret the mafia wanted them dead. I don't know about Martin Luther King, but 1,000% the Kennedys. The mafia wanted them dead. We know that they were fighting against the industrial complex, and Kennedy did not want to go to war in Vietnam. That's a reason right there. Him and LBJ hated each other. That was his vice president. So excited to see that. There's a few other ones that, not off the top of my head that I even remember, but when they were laying them all out, pretty okay with some of these things. The only one is with the back to the foreign aid is the only countries that are not under review for foreign aid is Israel and Egypt. Now, I'm not too sure about that shit. Why we're still giving money to Israel, I don't know. The only thing I can think is that it was part of the ceasefire agreement. Israel agreed to stop fighting Gaza and the Palestinians, and in return, we will still be selling them defensive weaponry and all that stuff because they still do have a threat coming from Iran. Plus, they have a new neighbor in Syria that who knows which way that's going to go, seeing as how their government fell. And if you would have asked us a year ago, the people who took it over are now ex-Al-Qaeda. I don't know what that means. I'm pretty sure that if you're Al-Qaeda, you're probably Al-Qaeda for a while. Not sure your ideology just changes like that. So I guess no matter what, we can say, may you live in interesting times, because that's what's going to happen. And then that brings us to Elon Musk. Elon, what are you doing, buddy? So unless you've been hiding under a rock, you may have seen that Elon Musk made a very awkward gesture that many people have perceived to be either a Roman salute if you're putting it mildly nice, or a Nazi Sieg Heil. Now, I personally don't think that that's what he was doing. If you put it into context, he was giving a heartfelt, where he was grabbing his heart and saying thank you. And then for some odd reason, he thrusts his arm out. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to get in trouble. But he thrusts his arm out to the side after grabbing his heart. And 100%, especially if you do a still of it or just play the 2-second clip, it looks a little bit like a Nazi Sieg Heil. However, if you play the full context, he then grabs his heart again and is all like, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Also, not to be a stickler, but the Nazi Sieg Heil is your arm going straight forward and up with your hand out. Same with the Roman thing. He kind of is like just karate chopping the air to the side. Let's not, we all know that Elon Musk is not he's a socially awkward guy. So he does some weird shit sometimes. And I think it was blown way out of proportion and used as something to bring up the whole old thing of Nazis and, Hitler and all this other stuff. Not to mention the ACLU even came out and defended Musk, saying what he did was not a Nazi salute. And again, I beg everyone to watch the full context of the speech. It's clear he's not doing a Nazi salute if you watch the entire thing. That being said, Elon then proceeded to make things way worse. And I got to agree with everybody on this. You could have just said, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to offend anyone, and it all would have gone away. Instead, you kind of leaned into it and you just made more jokes, which I do understand. Sometimes people's defense mechanism to being accused of something that they didn't do is to fight back. I mean, I get it. Anytime you're accused of something that you didn't do, the more you argue about it and say, no, I didn't do that, the more guilty you are. So, I understand maybe not wanting to play that hand. However, you then had the ACLU come back after Musk made a couple tweets of fairly inappropriate jokes considering the situation. They weren't very good jokes. And especially if people were accusing you of that, there were jokes you probably should not have made. Anyway, he made these jokes, and I gotta say, you lost me there, Elon. I'm not going to say you're a Nazi, and I will still say the original thing that started the whole thing, that was totally off base. But read the fucking room, and your jokes are a little tone deaf. You got to understand that some people are a little worried about what's going on, mainly just because they've been fed a lot of bullshit. I don't think that you're trying to bring Nazism to America or any of that. I just think that you're a really weird, awkward guy who did something weird and awkward. So that being said, I would encourage you to maybe just come out and apologize, because what you did, it really didn't work out well. But anyway, so we're entering into a new time. It's either going to be good, it's either going to be bad. I don't know. There's a lot of changes coming. I will say that Trump has done more in the last few days than I swear Biden did all 4 years. Now, like I said, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? I do not know. But we're going to find out. And I think that the one thing that could really unify this country is success. If people start to see, and I hope Trump is true on this, and being honest, that all he wants is for America to do well. If he can actually get some success in some of his policies and make things better for everyday people, then you will start to see a lot of this rhetoric start to calm down. Because everybody wants to do well. Everybody. The thing is you've got to make it so that people on this side and people on this side are both going to do well with your policies. And a good compromise is always two people that are unhappy. Okay? So if they want this and you want this, you guys should both give in a little and come up with this and walk away a little bit pissed off that you gave up something. But for the actual coming together of like both sides, you're both pissed off, but we get a resolution that both sides can live with instead of it just being like, nope, we're in charge, fuck you. If you do it that way, you're doing exactly what the left has been doing for the last few years. It was always fuck you, it's our way or the highway. This is no way to govern us. No way to govern us. You are our representatives. And as far as I can tell, the country is pretty well split. So if that's the case, then you guys need to come together and do stuff basically 50-50. You know, we got some major problems. We spend way too much fucking money on all kinds of shit that half of it doesn't benefit anything. You know, the difference is other countries spend a lot of money, but they get something for their money. We spend a lot of money and I can't tell what the fuck you spent it on. Well, that being said, like I mentioned earlier, I've got to use the restroom. So we're going to be signing off. I just had to jump on here and say something, mainly just because of the Elon thing. I've been debating with people left and right. And Elon, just shut up. You know, go and clean up government. Don't act like you're the star of the show because you're a very awkward speaker. We all know you're smart. Just leave it at that. Be smart. Make millions of billions of dollars and just do what you've been asked, which is cut government waste and run this place like it's a business. Because that's one of the big problems is you've got people in government who have never accomplished anything in the real world. You can fail upwards in government. You can't fail in real life. In real life, you either succeed, learn from it and try again, or you just fail and you're done. In politics, it's full of people who have never done shit. They're just good talkers. So anyway, strong and uninformed opinions. Follow us on Instagram. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube. We will see you next time. And I promise you, things are going to get better. I have a good feeling about the way things are going. I think that it's going to be a time of where we might actually start to see some bipartisan shit. The main thing is we need to make sure that these motherfuckers realize they don't run us. We run them. They are our representatives and they're supposed to do our will. It's not the other way around. And for the love of God, everybody, this is not a popularity contest. Please follow policy. I have heard way too much over the last few years of, well, who gives a shit about policy? Are you kidding me? It's all that matters. I don't give a fuck if it's the biggest lame ass in office, as long as he's doing stuff that's going to help us. Drives me nuts. Okay, gotta pee. See you later. Strong and uninformed opinions. You guys have a nice evening.